want to chat. All right, you ready to go?
Yeah, I don't even know I even have the 5K tennis channel anymore, so I'm gonna have to use my channel to
Let's go.
to converse with everybody because I'm not signed into the 5K tennis one.
All right, so before we start, let us know in comments whether or not the audio is okay. Generally, we do this at our house in our little studio, but we are at a new location. We are at Mirror Lake Racket Club, respectively, in Mobile, Alabama, where Carla and I are now teaching. So we are trying a test run using the internet that we have here at this point. So we're working on getting a hardline ran to this building, but for now we're using something called a MiFi. Has anybody heard of a MiFi?
I've heard that there's like certain things that you can use, for connection.
Yeah. So again, if it cuts out, apologies in advance. We'll get it fixed. So let us know in comments how the audio is, how the picture quality, and whether or not everything's good. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Hello. Welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. Today is Friday, January the 7th, 2022. Hopefully everybody's having a wonderful new year. Carla, do you have any shout outs to give?
No.
Man.
Shout outs to my new puppy.
Yeah, and he's out there.
No, he's in here.
You want to grab him while I give my shout out? Sure. We'll show you the new addition. We've been waiting for this dog for a long time. We were on a waiting list for the dog. If we knew we would have been, I guess, attaining a different responsibility, we wouldn't have done so more than likely. But nonetheless, we're grateful to have him, and we named him Sub-Zero after the Mortal Kombat character, as our other dog Katana is named after a Mortal Kombat character. So without further ado, meet Sub-Zero. Like him? Let me see the little guy. There's Sub-Zero. Yeah. All right, here you go. All right, so Sub-Zero it is. Just checking the phone. Everything good? You can see comments?
Yeah.
Okay, so by the way, don't forget that we are going to do the fantasy team competition. Remember, the top 2 winners will win $50 each. As well, we are going to do the $500 cash giveaway. If you want to know the rules for that, I won't waste your time here. Please go to the video we did, I think 2 videos ago, or maybe the last video, and all the rules and entry criteria will be there. Make sure to subscribe. That's your only qualification. And shout out to Thomas Chi in Canada and Jean Swart in South Africa for doing our scoring. They made a computer template and are going to live track it. And we will crown $500, check the rules, and 2 $50 winners, check the rules, okay? Mm-hmm. Shout out to Diadem, as always. Adam Frio, my wonderful rep. Love you, brother. Thank you for everything. And Ivor Savage, the owner, CEO, and good friend and wonderful coach. Ivor Savage, that owns Y-Tech Strings, all right? Mm-hmm. All right, let's jump right in. Topic number 1. Carla, what you got?
I think topic number 1 is everybody's topic.
Novak Djokovic.
Poor Novak Djokovic. No, I'm saying it for real. I mean, I'm not his biggest fan, but I feel bad for that guy. I really do. I just feel like so chaotic. It doesn't need to be this chaotic, really. I mean, maybe people won't like what I have to say, but everybody else is vaccinated. I don't see the big deal about him being there. I really don't. If you're vaccinated, you should be protected. I mean, I respect his decision, what he wants to do with his body. I just don't get it. I mean, really.
It's a conundrum. We don't ever like to talk about things like race, religion, politics, sometimes even sports with the wrong person. Yeah. Here in Alabama, we have, Auburn and Alabama, and if you're not careful with that, and you say you like one and not the other, and you tell the wrong person that, a sticky situation can transpire, right? Yeah. So it's the same type thing here. We don't, if we say we're one way about it, or we say we're the other way about it, either way we're going to piss off 50% of the people. So it's best just to stay out of the conversation. However, Novak Djokovic, by the way, is a human being. He's a person.
He definitely is. I think Nick Kyrgios, I read an article when he said he criticized Australia for the bad treatment given to Novak. He said, quote, "This is one of the great champions. At the end, he's a human. Do better." Yeah. I mean, I just thought, the guy, we knew he had a medical exemption, and they gave him permission, but then the Australian Border Force denied it, and now he has to go to federal court,
He's probably appealing it. It's probably going to an
So he's
appellate
staying at
court.
a detention center or immigration detention center. I mean, I know that's a hotel, but there's several other players there from what I read.
Right.
Not famous, that's why we don't hear about them, but
Yeah,
that are there because their visas have been canceled or they can't come in or they got sick or something. I don't know. I just think I think if it were Roger Federer who decided not to get the vaccine, it would have been a different story. I think if it would have been Nadal, I think it would have been a different story.
So you think there's a political agenda and there's a little bit of bias in this?
Absolutely.
You think so?
Oh, of course.
Also, too, by the way, correct me if I'm wrong, but to Christianity, or at least our version of it, or at least we celebrate Christmas December 24th, 5th, whatever. Novak Djokovic, I think, has a little bit different of a date of that important holiday and their respective religion. I think he is spending that time celebrating that in this type of isolation.
Right.
I don't think that Novak Djokovic is a supercomputer. I don't think Novak Djokovic is impervious to emotions. He's human. He has a lovely wife. He has a wonderful family. And now he's kind of stuck in isolation. I'm sure he's not trying to pull a fast one on anyone. He probably entrusted his team to get him the correct visa, and ultimately that did not happen. So we wish the best for him. Now, with that said, Novak Djokovic not playing for most likely, I think he's appealing this. But if Novak Djokovic does not play, do you have the same interest in this year's Australian Open? I know you're a Nadal fan. I know he'll be playing, so I know you'll have interest. But I'm not a big Nadal fan.
I think that he needs to play. I think that you will always question it because here you have a guy that's won 8 Australian Opens. He's the person to beat on this surface. So if he doesn't,
no, he's won 9.
9? I thought it was 8.
Hasn't Novak won 9?
Someone will correct me there. But still, it's like when he didn't play the U.S. Open and he got kicked out, not kicked out. What is it? Disqualified.
Disqualified with the throat.
The U.S. Open became kind of like, you know what I mean? So it's the same thing. I think he needs to play. It would be the same as if Nadal didn't play the French Open to me. I would have to be like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
So I feel for the guy. I mean, I watched some interviews with some tennis players. They asked Chilik, what do you feel about Novak's situation? He said, I feel really bad for him. Barty said she didn't care to discuss his medical history or anything. That was not for her to say. She understands why Australians are mad. She's Australian.
Do you have any comments on this, by the way? Has anybody led their take on this? We can talk all day about it, but what does the majority of people think?
Let's see. Gene Schwartz says he's being used as political tool. Tennis Australia leaked the document for the medical exemption. Jose P said, yes, he knew the rules. They gave him an exemption. He took it away at the door. I'm definitely not anti-vax, but I feel bad for Djokovic. He's losing a lot of money to not get vaccinated. Mir Jan says, this is not about vax, it's about control. Not everybody can eat everything and cannot get every medication.
Yeah, I think that the metaphor there is you can't make the cake and eat it too, something like that. Anyway, go ahead.
Gene Shore says testing positive in the last 6 months was one of the requirements for the medical exemption. So, I mean, which he did, right? I thought he did. I don't know, did he? I mean, so I guess I would have gotten the medical exemption.
Well, you make an interesting point.
Yeah.
Because the point being, as we remember the U.S. Open, he got a little bit perturbed on a point previous to that. He had finally held serve or something along those lines. And as every player does for the most part, when they get done, they throw the ball up and they tap it behind them to the ball people. Mm-hmm. When Djokovic did that at the U.S. Open, he unfortunately, erroneously, and accidentally hit the ball back to the lines person, and she wasn't quick enough to dodge that. And I don't even want to get started on that, but they do need to make some type of physical fitness test. Or you remember the episode Seinfeld where Kramer had to go out and he had to try out for being a ball person? Mm-hmm. That lady must have failed the test. I'm not hating on the lady, but if you are paying attention, look, we play the game of tennis, right? Mm-hmm. How many times have you been playing doubles and you're parked at the net, or singles and you're at the net, and you look right in the player's eyes that you're playing, and you know damn well they're about to go for your face?
Well, what about when I'm feeding balls and they go for me? I'm constantly doing this.
Yeah, so again, the throat hack lady, the lady that pulled, you know how these basketball players, when they get fouled, they fall to the ground and sometimes they weren't even touched? That's what the lady did. Yeah, she got a little fuzzball to the throat, but it wasn't that big of a deal. But you know, she hit the deck. She went down. She got TKO'd by a fuzzy tennis ball.
A little fuzzball. You
little
know that hurts on
fuzzball.
the neck. Come on now.
Okay, so she gets the throat hack, and because it was Novak Djokovic, here's how it went down. Point. He wins it. Okay, held serve, whatever. Grabbed the ball, tapped it back, walked back to his seat. Looks behind, and here's this lady, realized she's throat hacked. Then all of a sudden she was like, wait a minute, that's Novak Djokovic, let me fall. And she fell. Do you think that lady would have fallen to the ground if Roger Federer had hit her in the throat? Huh? Or would she have, she probably would have gotten the ball and taken it from her throat and asked for an autograph. But because it was Novak, she bailed, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so now we fast forward to the Australian Open. It's kind of like an Aaron Rodgers syndrome, right? Aaron Rodgers getting hosed because of this type of thing. It's the same thing here in tennis, and Novak once again is being the fundamental cornerstone of all the drama, right? Mm-hmm. What better person to pin it on, right?
Sir John says, hi Carla, hi Justin, happy New Year guys. Wish you all the best in 2022. Dushan says the effect is the opposite of what Governor of Victoria wanted.
Go Dushan.
Djokovic is fighting for freedom of all of us. Let's go back here. I saw the comment. Cheesy crunch forever.
Oh, shoot. Cheesy crunch.
Do you guys think Nadal can actually win, though?
No.
No, I don't think so.
No.
I've been watching some of the ATP Cup stuff. He was playing Berankis.
It was like 7-5, 6-4 or 7-5.
7-5, 6. It was not a good match. I'm like, what? I'm like.
Okay, so I don't want to go to our fantasy team stuff or the $500 cash giveaway. But for those of you that haven't played for the $500 cash giveaway, you are predicting. Your only thing is to hit the subscribe button. By the way, don't forget to hit a like. But all you have to do is to predict the men's final and predict the women's final and guess both winners. So predict who's going to meet in the men's final, the women's final, and who both winners are. Without Novak Djokovic in the tournament potentially, right? With Nadal being suspect to do much of anything and Roger Federer not being there at all, that competition, since you guys have asked why is the pot so high, because it's going to be really damn difficult to figure that out. Because if Djokovic doesn't play, what's it going to be? Casper Ruud and Medvedev in the final? What's it going to be? Zverev and Medvedev? What's it going to be? You know, something like that maybe. And then the women's side is going to be even more of a coin toss. I do still favor Osaka in this tournament. I just do. I think now she has cleared her timeout that she gave herself when she indicated that she'd lost because of emotional stress or whatever. I think she's lived that out, and I think she's ready to fight. Watch out for Naomi Osaka here. If Naomi Osaka and Barty are on opposite sides of the draw, which I'm assuming they will be, aren't they 1-2 now? Or correct me if I'm wrong. Are they 1-2? So I'm guessing Osaka's going to be on Barty will be on top as 1. Osaka will be on the bottom of 128 at 2, and hopefully they proceed to the final. So if I'm predicting right now the women's final, I'm going Barty Osaka, and I'm taking Osaka to win it because it is a curse for an Australian woman to win this tournament on her home turf. Last person to do it was what, Margaret Court prior to the Open era, or did she win 1 or 2 as the Open era just began? I'm sorry, I don't know. But no, to answer his question, I do not think Nadal does well, and maybe he does, but I think Linguini Noodle Medvedev or Puppy Haters Zverev, I think they will have a better chance of doing well than Nadal will at this point. Oh, look at that grasshopper.
So let's go back to some comments. Alex M said, what a charade by Australian government trying to score political points on Djokovic. Gene Schwartz says, but the federal government, the Australian Border Force says it's not a requirement. Mirjan says, we here don't believe in government, facts, not logic in many things. We don't obey government, have betrayed us many times. Jean says, Craig Tiley, the tennis Australian director, was sent 2 emails by Greg Hunt, the Victorian state governor, which said that testing positive for COVID isn't a requirement for the medical exemption.
And look, I hate to interrupt, keep taking comments, however. What I don't understand, and what I think 95% of the global population doesn't understand, again, not going pro-vaccination, against it, whatever. I just think, again, just to repeat ourselves, medical stuff should be private. Moving forward from that, but shoot, I lost my train of thought. Well, I'll remember it. What was I gonna say?
I don't know. I said a comment that Gene Schwartz, it was not a requirement for medical exemption. I don't know. I'm sure you'd think of it.
I'm thinking about it. Go ahead.
Nemanja says there is some good news for Novak. He will not have to be vaccinated to play the French Open.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. You were right. I would think of it. So the question is let's say, for instance, I am vaccinated for polio or the measles or typhoid or whatever, or yellow fever. We could just come up with one. I'm vaccinated for it. Let's say in this world today that someone is not vaccinated for it and they have this thing and they get next to me. Am I right or wrong in that it doesn't matter because I'm safe because I'm vaccinated for it? Like, right, if I'm vaccinated for the measles or polio or something, and someone in this day and age that has that, which I don't even know if they can anymore because I think it's died off, I don't know, but nonetheless, I should be safe for it, right? And I think that's what everybody thinks. So I think the mindset to those people that don't want the vaccination aren't necessarily just like, screw you, I just want to buck the system, I don't want to be a rebel. I think they're just saying, why is it so important that I get it if you have it, because you're safe either way? Do you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I think that's where Djokovic is going with it. I think that's where Aaron Rodgers, the football player, has gone with it. I think that's where Kyrie Irving, the NBA basketball player, has gone with it. I think that their feeling is, you can't tell me to do something when you yourself should be safe from whatever it is that I'm not doing. Does that make any sense whatsoever?
Yeah. I'm with you, Justin.
Comments again.
Let's see. Let's go back to comments. Okay. Jean says. Okay. Mirjan said, it's a shame what they did. 15 other players enter with no problems. It's a political game. Sanja Stankovic said it's a political decision because you need to provide all documentation in order to gain visa. So he needs to show his medical exemption.
Hey, by the way, it's really good to see the Serbian 5K tennis fans out there, guys and gals out there. You know that at our studio back at home, that we have the Djokovic poster open all across the top. We were sent that from the Balkan United Water Polo Club in Houston, and the gentleman that was the director of that. This is a point in time where we have to look at the human being involved here. We have to look at the person. And yes, you know, for some reason, Djokovic has always been this person that is going to take the bad guy role, whether he wanted it or not. Who are some other bad boys in tennis, by the way, that are energized by acting sometimes bad boyish, right? Medvedev, Kyrgios, but his is just abhorrent. But this isn't one of those times where Djokovic is trying to act like a bad boy, meaning, you remember back when he was young, he would do impersonations. I was at the U.S. Open in 2007 and 2008, I've said this 100 times, and Djokovic was there. I watched the men's final courtside when Federer beat him in 07. I think it was 7-6, 7-6, 7-5, or 6-6 and 6. And then the next year I was there when he beat Murray, and Federer dismantled Murray, right? Mm-hmm. But Djokovic was 18, 19 years old then. Early 20s maybe. I think he was like 18, 19 though, right? And he was just a young man, a young kid going out there having fun and, you know, doing some impersonations, okay. But as he got older, his ability to be a young man or a young boy and to love the game turned into a political strife ridden career, right? So since he has been very early on, we've had run-ins with political agendas with Vajda, his coach, which I respect a lot. When I coach personally, I think of Vajda. Vajda is a beast. He's a man. He's a freaking soldier. When I'm on the court and I've been coaching 6-7 hours and I got another lesson walking out at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and I've been coaching since 8, I tell myself in the head, what would Vajda do? I think Vajda, and I think the integrity and the fight and the absolute competitors and these coaches and players, meaning their team. Don't forget about other Serbian players too. Tipsarevic, Helena Jankovic, Ana Ivanovic. Give me some more. There's plenty, but all of them share one common story: training and playing in bombed-out swimming pools while bombs were flying over their heads, finding a way to still practice in drained-out swimming pools using the deep-end wall as a backboard. They all share the story of global issues that really aren't most of their issues, but they were placed on their doorstep. And all of them found a way to become great champions and the greatest of all time. That's a different argument for another day. In this little country with a bunch of soldiers that have been through hell and back. And here's Djokovic now, at this point in time, being victimized, in my opinion, because He doesn't understand why he has to do something when everybody else is supposedly safe from it. That doesn't mean that's my opinion. Again, we are not going pro against anything or negative against anything. But the moral of the story is he's a human being. He believes in himself. He believes in his health and his fitness. He believes in his team. And here we are with some other BS that can compromise his legacy moving forward.
Mer John said, this is different. It's not one vax and it's for life. But now you must be vaxxed a few times a year. Nobody knows what's in it.
Great point. And again, not saying pro or not. I may have had 10 vaccination shots. I may not have. But
booster this.
We have a global channel here, and there's people on every continent outside of Antarctica that watch it. So we have always made a point. We are never going to talk about race, religion, politics, anything to divide and conquer us as coaches or us as people or us as parents. We have 5 children, all doing very well. We tell them the same thing. Don't talk about race. Don't talk about religion. Don't talk about politics. Even sports with some people. But now we got a 5th one to add on. Don't talk about your medical history, because if I say I'm for the vaccination and I got it, then the people that aren't hate me. And then if I say the other thing, then those that it's a lose.
I'm an alien.
It's a lose-lose situation.
I'm an alien.
Okay.
I don't know.
Comment?
Malika said they shouldn't have allowed this circus. Aussie authorities, one or the other. Why approve a medical exemption if reality means no guarantee to enter the country? They could have just said no.
Sounds about right to me.
Yeah. Eugene Schwartz says the federal government, Tennis Australia, made the mistake and misformed the other players who got medical exemption for the same requirement, testing positive for 6 months.
Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to check out the video.
Which players were allowed?
On the fantasy teams.
Which players were allowed, Gene? He says, what about other players who were allowed in the country under the medical exemption, but he was rejected? What other players were allowed? I'm curious. I don't know anything about that.
Interesting there.
Yeah.
Gene always brings knowledge. Was that Gene that said that?
Yeah.
Gene is always bringing knowledge. Gene, I hope you're well, by the way, and I hope you're ready for a busy fantasy team. I hope now you and Thomas Chief find out how much work that Carl and I did over the past 3 years doing it manually.
Sir John says, I think people should boycott this tournament. The way they are behaving towards Nova is despicable. Also,
That's a great point.
You are enemy of humanity if you think with your own head.
This is a great point. So the United States is boycotting politically the Olympics because of the Shui Peng thing, right? Mm-hmm. At least that was the last I heard, right? I've been so busy, I haven't had time to follow that. But correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the case. Mm-hmm. Political, whatever. So I think it's the same type of mindset here. I mean, I think that I don't know how many athletes Serbia puts in to the Olympics or whatever, or how many people from Serbia or whatever are in the tournament. But I think maybe some of their countrymen should think along these lines of maybe boycotting it. Let me ask everybody a question and answer it honestly. Put in comments 1 for yes and a 2 for no. So in comments, put 1s if yes and 2 for no. If Djokovic does not play, and it looks like he will not play, are you still interested in watching the U.S. Open? 1 for yes, 2 for no. 1 for yes, 2 for no.
And the fantasy group became even tougher to predict, and the tournament.
Well, with the fantasy team, 2 people are going to win no matter what.
Well, the $500 prize.
The $500 prize is going to be difficult. Hence why we went from 250 to 500, because if someone out there can predict both men's finalists and the winner, and both women's finalists and the winner, with the uncertainty of the women's field and the uncertainty without Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal, Roger Federer, and the other of the big 4, Andy Murray. Without those 4, we used to see these same guys in the semifinals every tournament for like a decade, right, or longer. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, we always said when the big 3 or big 4 then were gone, and some people would say big 6, adding Wawrinka and Del Potro into the mix. But some people will say that when the big 4 are gone, now 3, now 2, now 1, that it'll become like women's tennis, just a different champion all the time. And I think that's the case for this Australian Open. Don't be shocked if Casper Ruud wins the whole thing. Don't be shocked if Medvedev gets another major. Don't be shocked if Zverev goes ahead and gets his maiden one. Don't be shocked if someone just comes out of nowhere and wins a first major, kind of like Raducanu. Who? By the way, who is Raducanu? How is she doing? Who is Raducanu? Who is that?
She should be exempt because she got She brought out.
Who is Raducanu? I swear when Raducanu. Look.
Who's up 0? Who is? Look at those baby blue eyes.
Carla, correct me if I'm wrong. When Raducanu won the U.S. Open, about 300 YouTubers put out videos. Raducanu is the next GOAT.
Oh, look, those pretty blue.
Yeah, and I put out a video for 2 minutes ranting about Raducanu who, whatever. Check that video out if you missed it. I went off on that. It's like 2 minutes long. Raducanu who? Anyway, talk about women's tennis just for a moment.
Mm-hmm. What about it?
Explain that comment.
What about it? What's interesting about it right now?
You have no interest right now?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I think Osaka will do well. Barty could do well, but she won't win it.
So we just went for like 20 minutes talking intensely about Novak Djokovic, and I asked about women's tennis. She's like, well, what?
I mean, does anyone here have any idea who they're going to pick to win? Any idea besides Osaka and maybe Barty?
I would go Osaka Barty, but
and that's what I'm saying. Anybody else in the whole WTA tour? Anybody want to take a guess?
And Serena's not playing it, is she?
No, she's not.
Not that
Neither is Venus. Sabalenka? Win?
What?
No. Sakari? No way. Azarenka? Nope. Who else plays?
Halep?
Nope.
Kvitova?
Nope. Muguruza? No way. Swiatek? Nope. Swiatek? Nope. Fernandez? Nope. Andreescu? Not playing.
Andreescu? Raducanu who? Who are you talking about? Andreescu? Who is that?
Oh,
Raducanu who?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
that's what I'm saying. What?
Look, don't laugh at me for a second here, but I watched a guy.
I read him. I knew about that, Gene.
What?
About the player from the Czech Republic that she was allowed to play a warm up, but then she got put in the same hotel as Novak.
And shut the whole hotel down.
I don't know.
Jeez.
I hope the hotel's decent at least.
Eventually they're going to start prisons for people that have this issue. They're not going to put you in a hotel. They're just going to throw you in jail. Right? It's going to become that difficult.
Maybe Samantha Stosur will finally win the Australian Open.
I thought she retired.
She retires in this one.
Okay, so Sam Stosur's last Australian Open.
She might win it.
Sam Stosur has some arms.
Yeah.
She's a beast.
Pliskova not playing. So, I mean, really, the women's tennis is a roll the dice.
Is it safe to say that this Australian Open will have somewhat of an asterisk next to it?
If Novak doesn't play, yeah, of course. The only reason I say that is not because the other players are not great, but this has been his baby. Again, I would say if Nadal didn't play the French, I would say the same thing. I would say big asterisk because he wins it all the time.
Can I say something about maybe you and all you laughing at me?
What?
I watch. No. Now take. Remember the context that Djokovic.
You disagree?
Djokovic in this context is what I'm fixing to say. I'm assuming he won't play.
Mm-hmm.
What about someone like Gal Monfils coming out and winning his first major?
Nah.
This Gal Monfils has been an incredible athlete for his entire career. He's had fun. He's been the dancing guy. He's married Svitolina. We didn't mention Svitolina on the women's side, by the way.
She won't win.
She won't win it, though, yes. But what about Gal Monfils? If Djokovic is not in the picture, is every man out there way more confident than he was prior to assuming entry or gaining entry to the Australian Open? Mm-hmm. Don't you think there's 127 more men in that tournament, including wild cards and qualifiers, that are going to be a little bit more confident because Djokovic not playing if that happens? Mm-hmm. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
All right, Carla, anything else you got?
No. What else do we got? When is the Australian Open, by the way?
Starts like January 14th or 17th.
Okay.
So anyway, in comments, getting back to work, I have a lesson coming up here shortly. Let us know in comments.
Someone said something funny.
What?
Jose P said Federer snitched on Joko to the border patrol.
Could be.
Right now Federer's like grin to grin. He's like, yes, we're all tied at 20.
And we know the feeling. Carla and I, over the years of coaching, we'll have someone to come ask us, coach this place or coach that place, and then you go to that place, and all the other coaches around, they start kind of hating on you because anyway, we get the feeling. Yeah, people are competitive. Yes. The way we look at it though is if you can't coach as well, then don't hate. It'll work its way out naturally. But yes, people can be hateful. If someone's doing well, people will snitch on them or try to make up some lie just to push their buttons. But you have to stay positive. You have to work hard. Remember the old saying, keep your enemies closer. I know this well in the coaching world after doing it for 22 years. You may have another coach close by that wants to get close to you, whatever, but you realize that they're just keeping their enemies closer. So tennis, as well as any sport, as well as any coach in any sport, it's a competition. It shouldn't be that way, and that's one of the problems with the coaching aspect of tennis these days. Instead of coaches working with one another, they're simply belittling them, talking behind your back. So this person does this person does that, or I'm better, you're worse. We don't get into that. We've seen it all and have the T-shirt for doing so.
Tom said MLRC looks good.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Big shout out to every one of our students here.
Oh, look, it's clay courts too.
Yeah, clay courts. Every one of our students here that have come from Dolphin Island here, and the few that we have met here now that are in rotation, they know that it's business in terms of work hard business. We don't coach for the money. It's not what it's about. We coach for. You want to go on a tour?
Give them a tour and say bye bye.
Let's go. All right. So if we tune out, we'll take you on a tour.
All right, let's go.
All right, let's go. So, Sub-Zero, let's see if we cut out. Don't worry about it.
Look at those eyes.
You got it?
Look at those pretty eyes.
What's up, buddy? All right, so this is the kind of like the pro shop desk. Eventually, we hope to have this kind of like a TV room. So during tournaments, if it rains or it's too hot or someone gets overheated, then they could come in here. And then we'll put this hopefully in another building. So stringing machine over here. Love that. Really love that. My favorite deal. These wooden rackets were not mine. These were the clubs. All of them very nice. In the press is excellent. Board. No, it's okay. Let's go outside. And I don't know how the signal will be out here. So going down the steps. So this way is my east. So this is court 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we can walk this way, and then there's a wall. So we go across the bridge. Over the hill and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. All right, so court 7 and 8 are over here. And it's really kind of nice walk through here. It's kind of chill. So we're in Alabama, by the way, on the Alabama Gulf Coast. Just to my south is the Gulf of Mexico. You guys have seen our other house before, or where we live, and that's right on the water. So we're not too far from there, about 35 minutes away. So this is court 7 and 8. We cleaned them and did the lines this morning on these courts, but we're doing some work to the 2 nets there. And we're working with some people to get the hydro system or the water good here. But the courts are beautiful here. This is the wall. And believe me, that wall will kick your ass. That wall's a good player. He's like a 5-0. He's like a men's open champion, that wall. He'll never miss. Right? He'll just beat you down. So back through the woods. So that's the pool over there, by the way, in that building. It's like the little clubhouse, a little snack bar over there. So here's the creek. All right, so this is the barn where we keep all of our stuff, like balls, tractors, stuff to groom the courts. Nice set of woods back here. So the garage. It's just hey, just stuff to keep tools in. All right, so court 7 or 6 rather. Little guy doing his thing. There you go. So court 7. This is the one we like to coach on, only because if you coach in the middle, then you get balls on other courts, and people have to stop play because of potential ball hazards and so forth. So we like to coach on this one. Our trusty ball mower. This ball mower is a matchmate ball mower. And my father and I won that at a USPTA, United States Professional Tennis Association seminar in 1984. So yes, I was 7 years old, 8 years old, and I was going to these things with my dad, who is the coach. Well, actually, he's a physician. He's a retired doctor, but he was a coach as well and coached us growing up. Thank you, D&M, for the coaching carts and the case of balls. Much love. And the sweatshirt right there. And the D&M team signs all the way around the court, right? So anyway, long story short, another D&M sign over there. Love it. Thank you, Adam Friel, for that. Ivor Savage, where you at? I'm waiting for my YTech signs. Let's go, bro. Come on, Ivor. Let's go. And then on the other side is the other 2 courts. So 6, 5, 4, 3. And then these 2 courts over here are the bomb. The view is just gorgeous. So I'm going to pop out this fence over here and show you this view of 1 and 2. Amazing courts. And then we'll just end the video. Gene Swart, Thomas Shee out there, get ready for the fantasy team. You are going to have a busy season. This should be our biggest one yet. The prizes are the biggest. Make sure people are subscribed. Otherwise, don't allow the entry. Giving out a total of $600 is a lot of money. Just hit the thumbs up and the sub button. Court 1 and 2. Beautiful courts here. Did those this morning as well. So all in all, and I'll show you the pool. So the pool is what one of our local schools uses for swim practice. We'll hopefully be able to work with them at some point moving forward, but the pool is beautiful. And here's the view of 1 and 2. Very nice. So anyway, much love to all of you. Take care. We will see you guys, I hope every day, hopefully every day for the Australian Open. But again, having the responsibility of running a club and so forth is number one. So we will definitely be doing the fantasy team competitions for sure. Gene Swart again and Thomas Chi will be your contacts. Make sure if you play that, watch that video 2 videos ago. It says 2022 fantasy team and $500 cash giveaway. Watch it. It's not long, and that'll give you all the rules there. So anyway, they will be your contacts for questions and so forth. But remember, all submissions must be on that video in the comment section. That's the only place they'll be checked. Don't send them anywhere but there. For those that keep up with us or talk to us personally, definitely put them on the video this time and not to us personally, because Gene Swart and Thomas Chi are the leaders and now running that. So good luck. Much love to all of you. And as always, let's go. Come on. And get ready to work, all right? See ya, and much respect to all of you in Serbia that are watching your goat going through what he's going through, okay? Take care, peace out, much love, get ready to work.